Good afternoon, Ryan from Southeastern Craft Supply again. We promised you a video doing glitter dye sublimation. So what I have here, we have some white Siser glitter. Okay, we have dye sub pattern. This happens to be tie dye on our dye sub. It's been cut on a silhouette as well as the glitter. Over here on a heat press, we're set up for 380 degrees. And we're set for 45 seconds, medium to light pressure. Somewhere in there is what we're finding works really well. So the first thing I'm going to do, take the Siser glitter, state of North Carolina here. I'm going to place it on our shirt. Again, this is a 100% cotton garment, so we're not going to be able to dye sublimate directly to it. What I'm going to do is a real quick 1 second tap. Okay. Reason we do 1 second tack is because we're going to give it plenty of heat when we go to actually dye sublimate it. Set that liner to the side. We've also found that when you're doing this, if you let the garment cool off a little bit, it makes placement of the dye sublimation pattern a little bit easier. The cool thing about this is, like we discussed in our previous video, you do have 2 layers to this dye sublimation pattern. You have the dye sublimation paper here, but you also have a sticky liner that goes along with it, which is going to help you register this. So after that's cooled off a little bit, we'll load it right back in the heat press. I do also, Bart, if you'll come in here and show, I do have a little bit of our shipping paper. This is what comes on your rolls when you get a shipment from us. We're just using it in between the layers of the shirt. What that does is keeps the dye sublimation ink from penetrating the other side of the fabric. Not so much of a concern here because we're going to dye sublimate the glitter, but a carrier sheet in between, if you're doing direct dye sublimation to polyester, does a good job at keeping the ink from transferring from the front of the garment to the back of the garment. So go ahead and register this. Okay, I'm going to use a protective cover sheet on top of it. Once we're good with the registration, we'll press down for the full 45 seconds. So again, the reason that we're dye sublimating to the glitter here is because we can't dye sublimate to a 100% cotton garment. We can only dye sublimate directly to polyester. So if this happened to be a polyester shirt, we would have been able to take the dye sublimation pattern that we had and apply that directly to the shirt. It wouldn't be glitter in that case, but it would allow you to dye sublimate directly to the fabric. In this step, we add an intermediate, and the intermediate receptive to dye sublimation is going to be the Siser glitter. Okay, once that's done, when I pull off the protective layer, you'll notice that you can see very clearly, you can see the dye sublimation pattern through. What was silver before has now turned to tie-dye. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Keep in mind when you're doing dye sublimation, it's going to be extremely hot. We're talking about using very high heat for a pretty long time. If you let it cool off a little bit, the dye sublimation paper will come up a little bit easier. Sometimes some of the letters, if you're peeling too quickly, they'll stick a little bit. Just peel them off. If you find they're really, really sticky and really aggressive, you want to either lower that temperature slightly or you want to decrease that time slightly. You will need at least 375 for dye sublimation though. So you can see now we end up with a really cool dye sublimated glitter, state of North Carolina, Southeastern Craft Supply monogram shirt. Again, I'm Ryan with Southeastern Craft Supply. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.